Can we bring Largo?
Yeah, we
here
can.
for
Largo. Largo. Come here. Can you come here?
Part of the homework, maybe?
He's doing his schooling over there.
Grab the mic.
Grab the
Have
mic.
a seat for a minute. Do you mind?
No.
How old are you?
11.
So I wanted to chat with you a little bit, I guess, because you can relax. Just chill out. There you go.
When we started traveling 5 years ago, we knew that we were following a path that very few had blazed before us. Sure, people had been full-time traveling since the dawn of time, but there were very few who had shared their stories so that others could see that it was possible. Since we love to play with cameras and share, we were excited to start telling our story. But there is only so much you can say on a YouTube episode. Attention spans are short and it's difficult to get as deep as you feel is needed. In comes the podcast. They are the perfect tool for long-form content. And today we get to tell our story with one of the best podcasters in the travel business.
We have now been in Oslo for an approximate amount of like 12 hours, and we realized one thing: we don't want to stay here. We've been in nature so much that I don't think that the city life is exactly what is drawing us to where we want to be. So we're gonna be here. We have an appointment. We had dinner last night. Last night was fantastic. By the way, welcome back to Norway. Hello, how are you doing? And once we're done with this appointment, we're done with Oslo. I'm sure there's a lot to see here. I'm sure there's a lot of videos of things to do here. I'm sure you can go look for them if you want to, but this will not be one of those. All right, and we're now in Oslo. Does it look like a tourist destination to us? And as we walk through Oslo, you'll see the historic Viking condos over here, and you'll see the shrubs that belong to the historic Leif Erikson's great-great-great-grandfather. This is as you can see, sort of our tour of Oslo is not going to the majestic city center. We're visiting a podcaster. We're going on a podcast today. This is going to be an adventure for us because we've hit a lot of podcasts in our day, but there's a few that we've actually earmarked that we want to go on for a long time. And Jason Moore, who we're about to meet right now, who is a host of Zero to Travel podcast, he is now hosting us for the afternoon, for the morning. I don't know how long we're going to be here for, but we're going to tell our story, and we're going to tell in a way that only he can only ask us of. What we like most about Jason is that he's compelling, and he likes to dig deeper into a topic than anyone else does and try to find the root of the story. So hopefully he's going to find something of us that we're going to tell in another podcast that is going to be, that we're going to surprise ourselves on. Are you ready to be on a podcast, Largo?
No. Oh
No?
yeah, you're on it, Largo. We didn't tell you that.
You're the surprise guest.
I don't. Let's see. Well, it should have the names on there. You know how the names usually come up?
The name are there.
We're trying to figure out exactly how to get in this building, and he's probably looking at us through this camera going, ha ha, suckers.
Let's see. No,
We're just
You press
have to
ring.
Oh. I hope this is it.
Hey guys,
Hey!
come on in. You too.
Give a hug. You're American.
Hi.
This is Largo.
Nice to meet you.
And Will.
Are you cool if we record this?
Yeah.
Sure. All right, right on.
I mean, well, I don't know. My place is a bit of a mess. You're entering a two-bedroom apartment with a
live-
3-year-old and a 1-year-old.
We live
so.
in an RV.
Nothing's going to shock us.
You
at this
don't
point.
you don't have to explain to us.
I'm
I'm a bit challenged, so I like to talk over Will and talk too much. So I think sharing this mic is going to help me because it's kind of like therapy. So I'll hand it over to Will now.
Well, I mean, you guys have been traveling full-time for, we were just talking about it before the interview, for 6 years, or coming up on your 6th anniversary, is that right?
We're approaching our 5th year mark, so going into our 6th year
Okay.
in about a month from now.
October
No, in like
6th.
2 weeks.
October
And how long have
6th.
Oh,
you guys been married?
Too long. Is that the answer you always get?
Because Will was still working long hours,
Yeah.
and I had a business and I was working from home. Well, Will and I have lived all over the United States, and at that point we had lived in several very large cities.
Okay.
He was a bit scorned by the company and was just like, I'm done. I've been working these long hours. I've been giving everything to them. I'm missing out on a lot of things with one child. I don't want to do it with the next. Let's just move to Boston and live this quiet life, and it works for everyone else, so it should work for us.
Yeah.
And
Try it out.
within 2 weeks of moving there, we had a second child who didn't sleep well for years. It snowed like crazy. We weren't used to snow. We just bought a house. It needed a lot of work. We were working on it while we were in it. So we just kind of chalked it up, this is how it is. And then after a couple of years, we just looked at each other and we said, this is not how it has to be. We're not happy. We want diversity. We want different types of food. We want this. We want that.
And these conversations, this is just happening as you guys are over time just kind of talking with each other about it, exploring ideas.
We're really honestly more like ships passing in the night and talking about it whenever we could. Like if I was nursing at 2 a.m, because Will was still working long hours. Finally, Will said to me, well, if it's not working, why are we continuing this? Let me start talking with his new company about going again as expats. Let's explore that route again with 2 little kids and going live in another country. And at the time, it didn't even dawn on us that we could do this on our own. We thought the only way to go live in another country would be through going with an expat, because what about money and what about finances and how do we find housing and schools?
Okay, so they said there was a possibility, but then it wasn't materializing.
It wasn't materializing.
Again, scorned again.
We were
Burned
scorned again. But like I said earlier when we were talking, Jason, Will and I don't give up. And sometimes we should get to a point where we're giving up, but we have so much push and
But at that point, I mean, did it sound like you guys were, you'd already really made that decision in your head that you were going, did you already kind of flip this, like the switch was flipped, like, hey, we're going abroad, like boom or bust type of thing, or were you still?
It really was at that point that we knew that we were going to go. The question was when.
Yeah.
And all these missed opportunities just basically fueled the fire even more. So by the time that the second rejection came through, the answer was not, well, it's just not meant to be. The answer is, how are we going to do this regardless?
Well, I think that's important, what you just said, because you can look at it 2 different ways if you're in that situation, right? You can say, oh, this is not meant to be, the defeatist attitude, right?
Yeah.
Or you could say, you're going to take this as fuel for the fire, like you said, and say, well, we're going to figure out a way to do this. Right? I mean, that's two paths.
Absolutely.
So then you made this decision. All right, so the job, the corporate thing falls through. You guys decide, hey, we're going to take our show on the road anyway, regardless of what any company tells us. Because that's the biggest decision of all, right? Because now you guys are cutting your ties with your corporate jobs and
medical insurance.
The whole thing. I mean, you're going all in on slow travel as a concept, as a family. Was that like the idea, like what you guys are doing now, was that the idea right away?
Well, the interesting part is this, is that you can prepare all you want for this travel life, and you can get your finances in order, you can go ahead and get the internet set up.
All the logistical.
You can get all of that.
You can busy yourself with that.
You can line that up for months on end before you actually launch. But the actual emotional part of launching, it's like turning your life on its head. And if you're not physically prepared or emotionally prepared to do that, and everyone around you is not emotionally prepared to withstand the emotional roller coaster that you're going to go through, it can be a challenge.
But I mean, how can you know if you're prepared?
You don't. You never know. However, you just need a strong core, you need a strong belief. We always say, it's funny because when we left, we just said that we were going to do this because we were going to do it for the children, and that was clearly our passion for doing
the thing
it.
that carried you through.
Absolutely.
Right. Now, that passion became a lot stronger as we further developed in those first 6 months, because
you guys are doing it for yourselves too. I mean, right?
Oh.
You have to be, because
Will and I love to travel, Jason.
Yeah.
We absolutely love it. But what we had for goals for our family and for our children, education-wise, as well as a family unit and being a tight family and being there for each other, we're all wrapped around traveling full-time. We would not be doing
together.
I'm pretty scrappy.
Yeah.
And it really doesn't take a lot to make me happy. I need my kids happy and healthy, and I need a good relationship with Will, and I need to do work that I'm proud of and it inspires me.
But I am convinced that outside of any traumatic health experience that we may or may not have in the future, this is, I would say, the ultimate test of a bond, of a relationship.
Yeah.
That, you know, first of all, you're traveling full time, you're with each other 24 hours a day, and now you throw yourself into a 21, 22 foot box.
What's the total time in the RV that you guys are going to be sketching out of roughly?
2.5 years.
2.5 years, okay.
2.5
And then
years.
the next move is?
Asia.
So that's more the traditional, get an apartment.
We will find a 4-wall location. We'll set up shop for 2 weeks to maybe a month, and then explore around there, and then sort of hop every month from that point forward.
Okay. How do you feel to be with your parents all the time? Be honest. I know they're sitting here.
It gets boring.
It
a
has
lot.
It has to sometimes, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I know moms and dads, broken hearts over
You're
here.
pulling out my heart, Mario. We're boring. Oh my gosh, we're those parents.
So, excuse me. So, yeah, I was really curious to talk to you because I have 2 young kids, and I often wonder, hey, if we go on the road for an extended period of time, will that be a good thing or a bad thing? And honestly, I feel like it's just a thing. It's an experience.
Yeah,
right?
I feel like if I would have started earlier, I wouldn't have known what I was missing, so I wouldn't have really thought, oh, maybe I want to stop.
Right.
But now it crosses my mind sometimes, but I never really give it any thought because I do like it.
Relax.
You know.
Enjoy the couch. Watch a little Netflix.
And you can use anything we said. There's no restrictions, including everything Largo said.
But
You'll probably get some comments to be like, oh, it sounds like that kid doesn't like it. Because whenever we let them speak freely, there's always someone that like that, but that's their issue, not ours. I think it's important.
so we've now just finished the podcast, and I have to say, this is the first time that Largo's ever been interviewed on a podcast.
Yeah.
Largo, you're super good.
I know.
I have to admit.
Gave
Way
away,
to rock the mic.
he gave away all of our secrets. Oh my gosh. Well, people are going to know all the dark, dirty stuff.
So Jason, if you guys are a fan of his and you follow him on Zero to Travel, I have to tell you that he's just as cool off mic than he is on mic.
Stop. Come
And
on.
if you
Stop.
don't follow
Stop.
him, why not? Right?
So he's invited us for dinner tonight. We're still debating, I think.
Yeah, you're debating because it's just going to be a frozen dinner from
frozen-
the oven. Nothing fancy, guys. But you get to be in a home. You get to be out of the RV. So you know
might
that's.
have some Velveeta in the car.
Taking a little time out to get to know Jason on a more personal level as he washes the dishes. Look, podcast celebrities do wash dishes.
Ladies, he's taken, so and I'm on his wife's team, so I
By
love
the way,
this.
she loves. So you're gonna have to edit this part out because she just loves when I get water all over the sink. It's just her favorite, absolute favorite thing. I don't know, something about me and water. I can't like. You can have the most contained sink, like nice flow, but somehow it
You
would
get
still be
water
like
everywhere?
Like you're lucky there's not water on your face right
Oh
now.
You know what the greatest part about being with a podcaster is? They're never for a lack of words.
Oh no, that's for sure. You could say that that's not the great part, the greatest part. That's the worst part. Maybe that's something my wife would
As his wife would say. She called him annoying.
So it's our turn to interview you now. How long have you been traveling?
I'm not traveling right now. I'm living the domestic life of a man with 2 kids.
And getting water all over the place.
Getting water all over the place and actually enjoying it. No, I spent a lot of years on the road, and it's been actually really nice to have this experience because I didn't have this experience in my 20s and early 30s. I lived on the road, you know.
so-
So then it was like that was the foreign experience, was living somewhere and having a daily routine. I mean, eventually I moved to Colorado and did that, but even then I was still bouncing around a bit. So
You can skip history. Why don't you have dinner with us? Okay, why don't you know
So the glorious part about being with travelers and those who have been a traveler all their lives is that they understand that when there's a hungry family over, you just open your doors and let them in. So what is the Norwegian specialty this evening?
this is gratning, which is like macaroni and fish with like breadcrumbs on top and some white sauce, and not homemade, as you can see. It's totally frozen from the grocery store, put in the oven, taken out.
No, you prepared this last night for us, right?
I wish I could say that I did, but I did not. Okay, so there's that. We have 2 of these, so there's plenty. So just help yourself.
You give this treatment to all your podcast guests?
Oh yeah, I fly them in, and this is what we do. No, unfortunately, it's usually over Skype, but you guys are here in person, so naturally, you've been living in an RV. I mean, you got to have a little cooked meal.
Right.
Yeah.
And Largo's using all of your Wi-Fi. I hope there's no limit.
No limit, thankfully.
So we're now exiting the apartment of Mr. Jason Moore, and there's like anything else an RV tour is coming to order here.
We better clean up.
All right, we got to clean up, guys.
Quick.
Come to order.
Quick. Slide over like that. Move your shoes out of the way, please, guys.
Sure, they're right there now.
Yep, we got to make ourselves look presentable here.
Presentable is not something that's going to happen. Like, just okay. Not too bad.
Go ahead and go in. Oh my God, look how cute.
A real RV, Ellie.
It's pretty dirty, guys. I warn you. Don't look at the floor.
Did you wash the bathroom?
I didn't wash the bathroom. All right, Ellie, I have a question for you. Where do you think Avalon's bed is? Can you find it in here? Look around. You can look behind you if you want to. Where does Avalon sleep?
Where do you think she sleeps?
Come look around. I bet you can figure it out.
Do you want us to take our shoes off?
No, gosh, no.
What do you think? Do you see a bed here?
Do you want me to show you? Okay, can I pick you up? Look, Avalon sleeps right up here. Look, you know it's Avalon's room? All the books.
Oh, the top bunk,
And we
Ellie.
take all of this stuff out. This isn't in here when she sleeps, but we just store stuff in here for now.
Ellie loves a good top bunk, don't
Oh
you?
boy. Yeah, and look, Lago sleeps down here. Right down here, and I bet he sleeps here. None of this stuff is in here. Where do you think I sleep?
Cool Star
This is a
Wars
really
shoes, too.
hard one. This is a very hard one. Where do you think I sleep? Can I give you a hint? You have to look up to see where my bed is. Come here, I'm gonna lift you up again and show you. My bed is right up here with his. Do you think I can fit in there?
It pulls down.
Do you think I can fit in there? No, you know what happens? We take this out and the bed comes down like this. Pretty cool, huh?
And the whole shelving unit comes down. with
Everything
it.
everything comes down. Yeah. So we have to take this off and it comes down, it sits right about here. And then if you want to go, when Will gets up early in the morning and works, he has to go like this. He crawls over, he crawls like this.
Under the bed, Ellie.
Under the bed to his seat, because that seat you can sit over there and work on the table.
We'll be in good shape for the rest of our lives if we stay in this thing.
Do you want to go sit in
Strong
the
core.
driver's seat?
You want to sit over here?
Check
Come
it
on.
out?
The
But look,
So
she
we're
wants to
still
be the
sitting.
driver up there.
What do
Honk
you
the
think?
What do
horn.
you think, Ellie?
Honk the horn.
Do you want to get down too?
You know what? It's a lot of fun living in an RV until you actually live in an RV, and then it becomes real fun.
Oh!
Bye. Abs, we're giving hugs.
you guys.
All right, guys. Jason, it was amazing hanging out with
It
you.
was awesome.
All right, so if you have not yet hung out with Jason on his podcast, Zero to Travel,
Hang out with me in person. This is
Yeah,
Right.
this is more fun.
we'll see you guys next time. But Jason is going to get this up soon enough. But until then, subscribe now because he's got a lot of crazy, incredible episodes of just wonderment and just beauty of travel. Until then, we'll see you guys next time and goodbye.
Hada in Norwegian.
It's when you're living your life of a routine, you can hide in your routine so easily. Your day just flows. You go from house to subway or to car or to job, back home, dinner, exercise, whatever, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. There's little time for self-introspection. When you are traveling full-time and you are stripped of your routine, because sort of that is the life of a traveler. Your normal is abnormal.
It becomes your new routine is sort of a non-routine with little mini routines